So I bought a drone a few years ago and I never use it. And so today I just thought I would come out and do some drone photography. And right now it's kind of some pretty cool conditions. I'm gonna show you right now. There is some fog all over the place. Every time I take a picture of the ocean, I always hate the images that I get because there's there's nothing in the background of the ocean. It's just kind of like an empty nothingness, right? We're just gonna kind of see what we can get with what we have here. I don't know how this is gonna go. We're just gonna try it out today though. Now, one thing that's cool about this area is this place was actually inhabited by the Chumash Native Americans over 1,000 years ago. I figured out a new way to attach my tripod to my sling. So I carry the Peak Design sling, and check it out. You can just pull it straight out, put it right back in, just like it's a holster for your sword, and you just sling it around you. Check that out. Now I'm just going to show you a series of drone footage and the images that I found from these locations. The first image wasn't great, but this would have been nearly impossible to shoot on foot. Now this next image, you'll see as I fly over the water here, the background has mountains in it, and this is a shot that you can only accomplish with a drone. Why did most people not get into drone photography? I think it's just, there's just not a lot of areas to be able to fly drones. The other issue is a lot of people just don't know how to do drone photography. And I think that it's really difficult to do. That's the challenge for me anyway. I haven't spent a whole lot of time because I just spent time like learning how to fly the thing. Trying to mesh that, like being able to fly it with also like learning how to do the video with it and the photography, it's just, there's so much to it. And most people, I feel like, just do video for drones, but there's this huge missed opportunity because think about all the locations that you can go and start taking photographs with. Like, you can't do that with a camera in your hand. And so that is the cool thing about drone photography. And I think that's one reason why I think more people should start picking it up. Now here's another example of how you could only get this image from being in the ocean or being on a tall boat. And this one is also one of my favorites, just being close to the waves and watching them up close. Now, the second reason I would not get into drone photography is just like the sensor size. So they make better sensors out there now, but the cost of the cameras, I think they're just overpriced. And I'm pretty much shooting with my old DJI Mini 2, which has like a smartphone sensor on it. So I'm not expecting to get great results, but at least I can get to places where I wouldn't be able to get to otherwise. And last but not least, the top-down shot. So if you have like an old drone just sitting around collecting dust that you haven't used in a long time, just like pick it up, take it out, give it a shot. I just decided like I'm gonna start picking up the old tech, the old things that I have that are just kind of collecting dust like this drone, and start using them. As like an American, I feel like we just have a lot of stuff and we don't use a lot of the stuff that we have. And so I want to start like mastering the crafts that I have. Like I have a piano that it's a keyboard. My wife plays the piano and I'm like, it's just sitting there. I should learn how to play. So I just started picking it up like a couple months ago, and I'm starting to play like songs, and it's like really exciting. And so we have so much stuff that's just laying around and so many opportunities for like hobbies and different interests that we can just start picking up. And so that's why I picked up this drone today, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do some photography today. It may not look that great, but at least I can start learning a new skill and trying something new. Okay, so here's the raw image. It's actually just a JPEG because I forgot to shoot RAW. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna start off and just lighten it to what I think it should be at. This is pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and this area is really dark, so let's go ahead and change the shadows, lighten them up a little bit. And that's pretty good for right now. I'm gonna go ahead and darken that sky. So I'm just gonna bring the sky down. So let's go ahead and bring that sky down. I tend to change my skies to make them a little bit bluer. So I just change the temperature, make it bluer. I'm going for dramatic effect. So as you can see, it's kind of a dramatic image. This is my subject right here where the wave's crashing onto that rock. So I want this the brightest. I want everything else a little bit darker. So my whites are at their whitest point. I'm okay with the shadows right here, but all of this is way too bright. Everything around here is way too bright. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna just simply get a radial gradient, and I'll just put it around my subject because this is the most important part. I could probably make it a little bit more like that. Okay, now I'm just gonna invert this radial filter, and I almost want it a little bit brighter here, and then I'm just gonna make it dark so it makes kind of a much more dramatic image. That's kind of the look that I'm going for. And I'm about finished. I wish there's a little bit more pinks in the sky. What I can do is just add a little bit more magenta with saturation here. Add some more reds, change my blues, make them a little bit more blue. I don't think I'm going too crazy with this, but I am going to make that radial filter just a little bit darker to get a little bit more drama in there. And maybe that's too much. Maybe I'll just back it off a tiny bit. But I think that's pretty good. Now, the last thing is I'm just going to crop it. So let's kind of bring this in. I kind of like the square crop. I'm having a hard time deciding here. You know what? I think I'm going to keep it out like this. All right. I love the contrast here with the white speckles of water against that dark rock. And I think that's pretty good. I think I'm going to keep it right there. Let me know what you think, but that's the final image that I'm going to say for this one. Okay, so here's my last image here. This is, again, another JPEG. I'm just gonna zoom out and I'm just gonna warm this up a little bit. I like to bring the vibrance. If there's anything green, I like to bring it up just slightly, like 11. And I'm just gonna go ahead and start lightening this up to the general light, like the brightest that I would possibly want this to be. It's a little bit too bright right here, but this is looking pretty good. I might even just go a little bit brighter. I don't have a clear subject. That's the one thing I don't like about this image. But let's see, let's make it a little bit warmer right there. And then I'm gonna make the clouds slightly cooler. So I'm just doing clicking here on the masking tool and selecting sky. So I got my sky mask right there and I'm just gonna darken it. And also I like it to be blue, so I'm gonna make it a little bit more blue. Nothing too dramatic here. And already it's looking pretty good. Now I don't like how this area right here is just a little bit too bright for me. So I'm going to just take that linear gradient and we're gonna bring it right over here and just start darkening it up. So let's see how dark we wanna go. You know what, let's make it a little more dramatic. I'm gonna darken it a little bit more like that. Okay. I'm starting to like that a little bit. I'm gonna back off because anytime usually it seems like you always think that later on you end up regretting when you go too dark. So I'm going to back off a little bit, and let's just clean this up. So I'm going to use the clarity tool, get it a little cleaner. Again, I'm going to do another linear gradient right here because this is just a little bit too bright for me. And just going to darken that up. Let's see, I want it a little bit more. All right, that is not too bad. I almost just feel like there's some spots that could be a little bit brighter right here, but for the most part, that looks good. I'm just gonna bring in some of my blues and greens, add a little tiny bit of saturation. I want the yellows and oranges to pop more. And I think that's going to be it. Cropping it, I think I'm just going to keep it how it is. I'm not crazy about this image, but I think it looks pretty good from where it started. Okay, I think this is going to be my last image, and right now I'm just experimenting. I haven't shot a lot of top-down shots like this in the past, so I'm just completely experimenting right now. So I'm just going to start lightening it up to where I want it to be. I'm going to brighten the whites a little bit because I like those waves to be a little bit on the wider side. And I'm going to also, this is kind of hard to do. Let's see, I don't have a subject really to select here, but I'm going to use that linear gradient again and just kind of darken this part. Let's see, I'll just go like that. Let's go ahead and darken it, and I want it a little more on the yellow side, a little more oranges here. And now I'm going to do another gradient on the other side. And let's see, let's just bring it in like this. And I'm really going to make this more blue. Okay. Because, I mean, that's kind of how it does look. The whites, I'm going to bring them out, have them pop a little bit more. Bring that exposure slightly down, and then again with the highlights, just brighten them up. Okay, so let's see. Add a little bit of clarity here. I don't know, I'm not completely satisfied with our overall image, but it is looking better. I'm going to brighten it just a tad bit. All right. I think I want the overall image just a little bit more on the blue side. Let's go with that, and then I'm going to bring the vibrance. I haven't touched the vibrance yet, so let's go ahead and bring the vibrance up. See, that's a full vibrance. I don't want that much. But I think right around there it looks pretty good. All right, there it is, full screen. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so let's look over. Here's some of the shots that I didn't really include the edits for, but I thought this one turned out pretty good. My favorite one, well, let's go ahead and see this one. I like this. I actually lit up this tree a little bit here. And then I just really darkened the background, and I kept this area as my subject. My favorite one of all is probably going to be this one. I really brightened this area up. I darkened everything around it. I just kind of like the mist in here. I didn't really do anything, but there was just some cool mist. But this is my subject, and I really tried to brighten it up. Here's the full photo with the dark background. Here's the other ones that I edited with you. And my last one, which is going to be right here. And that's it. Please like, subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Hope you have a great day.